Hey, Dan here. I don't know if you caught my other couple videos about addictions and escapism, but this is the third video in that series and it's about creating an empowering environment. So let's say you've figured out the things that you avoid, triggers your escapism, you've broken your addictions. How can you keep up this positive life path, right? For me, the easiest way has always been creating an empowering environment. What do I mean by that? Well, let's say you're trying to, quit eating sugar. Probably not good to keep a bunch of chocolate bars and, packs of sugar and whatever else, fruit juice lying around your house, right? That would not make it easy because when you get a craving, you'll be like, oh, I'll just drink this juice and then you'll have juice. Don't do that, right? Setting up your environment to help you succeed. I'll give you an example. I have an Xbox. I've mentioned this before. I don't know why I keep mentioning it. And I do not want it to become something where like in the middle of a Tuesday afternoon, I start playing. So the way my setup is when I'm not playing, I put it away. And by that I mean like it's unplugged, all the cords are taken, it's put in a box, put into storage. So when I do want to play, it has a bunch of effort, right? I need to go, unpack it, plug it in. It only takes a minute or two, maybe even less, but it's enough of a barrier that if I'm just sort of tired, like let's say I'm kind of tired, I've just finished 3 coaching calls and I sit down on the sofa. If the Xbox is sitting right there with a controller, I'm very likely to turn it on and start playing, right? And then get sucked in and then play for a couple hours, right? So don't have it there. It goes with food, goes with whatever. You can also apply this to how you set up your routines and your days in general. I know I have this pattern. I'm sharing way too much of my issues in these recent videos, but I know I have this pattern of, although I haven't been doing it recently, I do have this pattern of being like avoiding kind of getting right into work at the start of the day. And so I've caught myself before where I've got up, early. Like there was a day, I don't know, 5 or 6 days ago where I got up at like 5:30, 6 a.m. And I'm like, all right, awesome, get up. And I started listening to podcasts and maybe watching a few YouTube videos as I was like having breakfast and getting ready. And I sort of got pulled into that, like just into being a consumer of content, which is fine if you're watching my content. And the day dragged on and I think it was like 10:30, 11 before I was like, oh, do I even get work done today? Like what's, am I going to take on, get done versus a day like today, where I got up and being aware that I can get, pulled into other stuff, got up, didn't check any email, had a quick breakfast, headed out. I was at a cafe working by 7 a.m., at the gym by 8:30. It's been a crazy productive day. And it's because I set up that empowering environment. An environment doesn't have to be in your home, right? Your home should be an empowering environment, but it can also mean like going to a gym, building a great routine, going to, let's say there's a cafe and when you go there you tend to focus well and get more done. Then build that into your routine. Go there every day. Go there before you get suckered into some bad habit or fall into a pattern that you've had, right? Now in other videos I've spoken about discipline. Discipline starts like this at the start of the day and then it gets smaller and smaller and smaller until we have none. Occasionally it comes back and then it gets smaller again. We have a limited amount of discipline available to us, right? I've talked about the studies and all that before. I won't get into that. But know that it's like a fuel tank. When it runs out, you do not make the best decisions. And it runs out when we're tired, when we haven't, eaten well, or we haven't eaten in a long time. Lots of other things can cause it as well, right? Stress wears it out. So what a lot of us do is we think about when we're in our best state of mind, when we have a lot of energy, when we're disciplined, and that's when we say, yeah, of course I can keep candy in the house. Like maybe I'll have guests over and they'll want it. Or like, whatever that is, it's in those moments where we have a lot of discipline where we maybe make up those excuses. But when you're tired, when your discipline is running low, you do not make the best choices. None of us do, right? So what you want to do is use your intelligent brain when you're thinking clearly and set up your environment to anticipate the worst case scenario. Anticipate when you're super stressed and you're likely to make a bad choice or go to something that's comfortable. Anticipate when you're going to be starving and you'll just eat anything, right? Right now I'm eating like basically high fat, moderate protein, like no carb. It's sort of this keto diet, although I'm not doing all of it. And it's awesome. But the thing that I've been needing to do to make it work is I go over the top with buying groceries. Like there's always good food to eat in my fridge. I pre-order groceries sort of before they run out so that I never hit that thing where I have nothing to eat, I'm starving, and the only place open is the, pizza by the slice across the street here. And I'm like, okay, God, and then I break, this great roll that I've been on. And so it's about anticipating, right? Anticipating what you might do when you're feeling really off, and anticipating what would get you to that state of being off and not letting it happen, right? Preemptively doing the things that will benefit you and put you in the best headspace, essentially. So when you're setting up this empowering environment, think about what are the goals that I want to achieve? What am I trying to do here? When I first moved into this apartment in Prague about 3 years ago, it was great because it was unfurnished, and that's what I wanted. I wanted to create a place that was based on my goals, right? So half of my office, I had a whole separate office room. I still do. It's over there. Half of the room was basically like a home gym. So I had TRX and a few other things, and it was like, okay, because I want to be taking breaks and working out, so that will be great. And then it was like, okay, I want to be doing more reading. So initially I didn't have internet in my apartment for 4 months intentionally because I was like, at night, I don't want to be on the internet. I want to be reading and whatever. Pretty soon I realized I wanted to watch TV shows at night occasionally and stuff too. But it was set up like to do the things that I wanted to do. So in the kitchen, I like to cook a lot. So it was, buying the right utensils and stuff so that it would be really easy to cook. So I'm less likely to eat out unless it's going out with friends. It's setting things up. If you want to read more, make sure you have a really comfy chair and like a nice reading environment. And don't put your reading chair or hammock or whatever it is in front of a TV because you might like just check what's on TV, right? Look at these patterns. This would be an awesome career if someone was like an interior designer slash psychologist. I'm sure there is a profession like this. I just don't know about it, where you sort of like an interior design psychologist and you figured out like people's patterns and then you helped set up their home so that they did all the things they wanted to do in their life. Like they woke up and then there was a little fountain with meditation stuff and they just like naturally went and meditated and did all this stuff. That would be cool. If any of you become that, let me know and I will promote you and hire you. That would be awesome. So that's it. Set up an empowering environment for yourself. It makes such the difference because, yeah, sometimes we feel great and we're in full control and we can do whatever we want, but a lot of the time we are not. We are feeling tired, weak, we lose that willpower. Everyone has this happen to them. The difference between people that tend to break their positive patterns, break their diet or quit the exercise routine or whatever they're doing, the people who fall apart usually don't have safeguards in place. They don't have an empowering environment to help them keep that up when they're not at their best. So create that empowering environment. Little pitch for myself here. If you're looking to be a part of an empowering environment for about a week, I am going to be doing live events in Playa del Carmen, Mexico at the end of April. This is 2018 here. And in Prague in August. And these will be awesome. Week of incredible events, incredible people. There'll be a link below in the description. Check those out if you're interested in meeting me and just having an incredible time. Thanks for watching. Subscribe to the channel if you haven't already, and have yourself a wonderful day. Ciao.